What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Michelle and Dina, and we are discussing episode 4 of Blood of My Blood. But first things first, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Are you guys recovered from Dragon Con yet?
Yeah, I
No,
think I'm good.
Oh,
She's like, no.
no.
Michelle said, "Nope, I'm not." Yeah, so I preface that because I have a little bit of a head cold. So if I sound a little weird tonight, forgive me. I'm working through the start of con crud, but okay,
Ugh,
Oh
let's
yeah,
get
I'm
on
glad
this
I
blood of my
don't have
blood.
it this year. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, blood of my blood, episode 4. Woo woo. There's a lot in this episode. I don't even know where I want to start. Do I want to start with Julia and her little fake ass rash and all this other stuff she
That
going?
was smart.
It,
It
She's
was
smart.
smart.
listen, I
It
like Julia.
was.
She is thinking outside of the box, and she's like, "Oh wait, the laird is coming back. Oh, I don't want him touching me. Let me figure out what to do." And I
And
That
love
was smart.
he was looking at it like, can you fix that?
that was the funny part to me because I was like, "Oh, she knows that he's vain enough that he's gonna look at that and be like, oh, girl, I need you to handle that. I don't want
Yeah.
that in my house.
Like
Good. That means you
first he
don't
was
want
like,
him
is
in
it
your bed."
contagious?
It was funny, but I will say this:
Oh.
one thing I did not expect was Julia and Brian kind of pairing up, being this daring duo. I could
hmm
go for more of this friendship. I really could.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool because that also, before they actually showed what was going to happen, it made me think of what you were saying about like how are Ellen and Julia going to meet? Like how is that finally going to happen? And so I did wonder about that when I saw how he's just so sweet. Like why is he so sweet? Like this man just for no reason at all is just a good person. He's
In
just
spite of
good.
both of his parents, because at first, last episode, we were like, "Oh, it has to be his mama." No, I'm starting not to like his mama either. I'm really not. She's just so
Nope.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to say she's nasty.
She's,
I don't.
she is
She's just not nice to Julia. And you know what? I thought about this after we discussed the last episode, and especially after watching the next episode. I was like, I wonder, is she being that way to Julia just because she is trying to protect her status there? Because I think we talked about this during the Blood of My Blood
Yeah.
panel at Dragon Con too. It's like, you would think, okay, this is a young girl. She kind of, it's obvious she's not familiar with what y'all do here. It's obvious she's not from Scotland. At least kind of take her under your wing and be like, okay, this is how you're supposed to do things. But no, you're being nasty to her, talking about, oh, you done pissed the fairies off. She's like, what do you mean I pissed the fairies off? She has no clue about any of this stuff.
But what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I don't know. I really didn't like her in this episode. I was like, you're being kind of nasty to her. And then I thought about it. I was like, okay, you know what? I said, maybe she's trying to protect not just her, her status there, as I know he's not interested in her, but she is the mother of his child. So that does allot her, I guess, a certain privilege in the house. And I feel like she's trying to protect that. Like, okay, we know he has his eye on Julia. So let me just be mean to her and maybe kind of discourage that. But I'm like, you're part of the reason why she's there. She's told you she doesn't belong there. She has a husband. She doesn't want to stay there. And you're kind of keeping her, helping to keep her there against her will. So why are you being so
hmm
nasty to her?
Yeah, it kind of annoyed me when she was talking about you got to do the offering, thank the granite or whatever, and I was just like, but how would she know that? This is clearly the first time she's gone and gotten milk from wherever these ladies come from or whatever. So
Mhm.
it's clearly her first time. So was she just supposed to know she was supposed to go to a rock and go praise the whatever for the milk? Like that's ridiculous. But like it's like you said, she has that mindset that unfortunately when women are in the same predicament sometimes instead of us bonding together and building up with each other, we have to put the other one down. We got to keep the other one down because your power is diminished. I don't know. Like, it's so weird to me that, it seemed like at first she wanted to protect her. And
Mm-hmm.
then after a while,
Mhm.
it was just like, yeah, I don't want to protect. I guess she don't want her head to be on the chopping block. I don't know. But she's just, I don't like the way she's acting towards her. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I think it gets worse the more interest he shows in her. And like I said, I think that's part of the problem because even with her circumstances and what has happened in that household with her, with him taking advantage of her, him raping her, whatever the situation was, because we also don't fully know what the situation is. We know what the rumor is, we know what the likely possibility is given how he is, but
Mhm.
even though he's a lecherous old dude, he really is. We've not seen him come at Julia with any forceful overtures. So it's also possible he may not have done that with, Miss Porter. He may have just kind of been like, okay, this is what you can do if you want to keep your position here, which is not necessary, it's not rape, but it is kind of coercion, or it is kind of, blackmail and whatever. But we don't know what he's done. We just know what the rumor has been all these years, but we haven't seen him be nasty towards her. We haven't seen him be forceful towards Julia, because I'm gonna be honest, given what we know of his character and his reputation, I really would have thought that he'd have done that by now. And maybe it's something the show is doing to kind of veer us away from the whole sexual violence towards women trope.
Maybe.
Could be, or they
Yeah.
could be maybe kind of sort of rewriting history. I don't know. But again, we don't really know the facts about what transpired with him and Miss Porter. We just know that she's there. She has a certain authority around the house, and Brian is there. And now I guess with this
Yeah.
younger woman, that authority is being challenged and she don't like it.
I do kind of
Right,
wonder
because she
because it
likes
was,
that favoritism.
yeah, yeah, like it was 20 years ago, so it could have actually been that she loved him back then. I mean, we don't know what could have happened. He could have been, actually handsome or whatever, and he could have been the laird to show her some attention as a servant girl, and maybe she just was like,
Yeah.
oh, and then at some point she realized,
He
oh, I'm not the only
became.
one. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna do this to every young girl, and then
Yeah.
maybe that changed her mind about him. So it could have been that because she acts very, even though she kind of, you can tell she kind of thinks he's an asshole, but she kind of acts possessive
Yeah.
over like him. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the laird wouldn't tell a maid what he's doing with his time. Okay, girl, calm down.
Right. Like
Calm
I wasn't
And
even
you know,
asking. I was just like, oh my God, he's coming
was
back.
just like, oh no, let me go rub some poison ivy on myself because he's coming back.
Like I don't want him
and
touching
and
me.
and and it also could be that she tried to do the same thing of getting away, and she couldn't get away,
Mm-hmm.
That's true too.
and she doesn't have the privileges she's seeing that someone else is getting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
he could have
yeah.
had, or because she had her son, she was able to stay, and someone else got kicked out. So she may be worried that that will happen to her, and then she will be
That's a good
sold
point
to
too.
someone else.
Could
Who
be.
else got up out
Yeah.
of there?
Yeah.
She
But
came
but
along. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But the truth of it is, because of the time that this is taking place, we really, until they tell us specifically, until they show us what transpired between him and Miss Porter, we really don't know.
Yeah,
you know um and the other thing too could be, even if it was the more serious aggression, even if he did rape her, and we've had this conversation, she probably was a child or a teenager
teenager.
when this
Yeah,
happened, because she doesn't look that old.
right.
She looked like she could be in her 30s, maybe 40s. Brian has got to be at least about 20. Even if it was that, because of the times, and I think we discussed this in the last episode, really, nobody would care.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And maybe to make sure that her child was taken care of. She kept her mouth closed. She still served the way she, you know, served him so that she wouldn't be put out on the street. Her son wouldn't be put out on the street. Yes, he's known as the Fraser bastard, but at least he's claimed and not just out there on the
Right.
streets begging. I mean, unfortunately, women in her position, even if she was a rape victim, didn't have a lot of options back then. So
Mm-hmm.
it could be just like, I hate to say it like this. It's a product of the time. She's probably like, oh, okay, he had his way. All right. I'm gonna go on doing what I do because what else can I do? She
Yeah.
can't really go to the authorities. They're not gonna do anything to her. They're gonna be like, well, you're his servant, and you
And
know,
it's that thing, like their attitude about like him wanting to ruin Ellen's reputation because it's so much easier to ruin a woman than it is to even do anything to a man. Like whatever man did the thing is never going to be, he might be killed by a brother or father for, whatever. But when it comes down to a reputation, it's always her reputation that's going to be, sullied or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And
mm-hmm,
it's like one of those things when you're a servant, none of that really matters
right.
because nobody cares about you. So that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that could be very much the case.
And because she's in that kind of rare position, she is the mother of his child. However the circumstances happen, she does have to think about protecting herself. I get it.
Yeah.
I just don't like the way she's treating Julia because it's like, this girl don't want to be here. So
Yeah.
why are
And
you
she
taking
don't
out
Right.
belong.
right? So why are you
At
taking
all,
out
if she keep telling
this?
you that.
Yeah, really. Yeah, but I don't know. I think we'll probably learn a little bit more about Mrs. Porter, and maybe we may even see what her history is with him. Maybe a few episodes down, especially now that Julia has now told him that her child is his. Maybe we'll see some background and we'll understand what the situation is with both of them, and maybe that'll endear her to me a little bit more. But right now I'm just like, stop treating the girl like she a stick in the mud. It ain't her fault that she's here.
Yeah.
Maybe if y'all weren't so keen
Yeah.
on selling people in the 70s.
I know. And then just being
Right.
okay
Just
with it.
randomly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Speaking of
okay.
selling, look, speaking of selling women, let's talk about Ellen and Colum real quick.
Mm. I'm the Laird now. Face this moment.
Right.
Yeah, attending such
However,
festivals are beneath me in my new station. Excuse. I was like, okay.
however, I do feel what he was saying when he was talking about how you were so into dad and dad doting on you. You
Mhm.
ain't see how the rest of us had to go through some things.
And
Get
how
that.
dad was not taking care of the books and the
And
finances like he was
uh,
supposed to.
Right.
of course he wasn't. Of course he
Of
wasn't.
course he wasn't.
Jeez.
But
I believe him.
yeah,
Oh
because I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
I think I think
I
the
do
question
believe him.
came up. Somebody asked, it was like, well, do you think he did that on purpose, or do you think the Colum is lying? I was like, no, I don't think Colum is lying. Colum, one thing about his character, Colum is one of those
Mm-mm.
people. He is very bluntly honest. He doesn't really hold back what he's thinking. Even the older version of Colum that we saw, he's never really minced words. He said exactly what was on his mind. It may not be the
Mhm.
nicest way to say it, but he's always said the truth. And
Yeah.
even in this,
Right. And then you can also read between the lines of also what he was saying. That's what I was basically saying about how
right?
you have all
Desperate
this
to.
privilege and,
Yeah.
and there's stuff going on
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you'll be certainly surprised that dad did.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. He
What did
wasn't.
he say?
But even
We're
Ned
a month
said,
away from having to sell the family silver. Like Howard, what?
hmm
even Ned was like, people didn't like your dad, and so I could only imagine he was out there doing things, flaunting money and spending wrong and doing all kinds of stuff. And people looked at him like, look at what this sucker is doing. And they just
hmm
didn't respect or like him, but they were afraid of him.
Yeah.
But that right there, when he
Mm-hmm.
said that, I was like, come on now.
Because
Why
now that
can't
means
these
she really does have to marry to save the clan. Because even if she marries Malcolm Grant, and even though she told him, okay, so if I marry Malcolm Grant, you realize my loyalty is going to be to him and his house, right? But if she does marry him, like she said, they got to come up with a dowry, and that marriage will help them out because then they can go to the grants and be like, hey, we need some money. We gave you a perfectly good wife. Which again, I mean, Ellen called it for what it was. She was like, so when you sell somebody to another clan, you're selling them body and
I
soul,
love that.
which means
so
their loyalty as
Mm-hmm.
well. How about
Mm-hmm.
y'all just stop selling folks?
yeah.
But
And we'll be okay.
and we will be okay. But of course, 1700s.
This is why it pisses me off that people go through all this BS about marriage and who should be married and marriage sacred, marriage this and marriage that. I'm like, yeah, marriage is sacred to the two people who are married, who are in that relationship, and it's their business. But just don't come with me because y'all used to just sell women. Y'all used to use marriage as a tool, and
Right.
that's still going on to this day.
It
We just
is.
happen to be in the country where typically it doesn't happen like that, but
Right.
it's still happening. They still selling off babies to get married. Okay, like so don't tell me how marriage is just oh come on. Oh it's
Happening in this day and age in this country because there are a lot of people now who are getting married not because they are in love with someone, but because of what the benefits are. You have
yes,
people who are getting married
Mm-hmm.
for financial benefits, and they literally have these discussions.
yeah,
Okay,
no,
so if
that's
you and
true.
I get married, you know, we don't necessarily, I mean, all kinds of stuff. It's kind of like Rhaenyra and what's his name in House of the Dragon. She was like, okay, so you and I get married,
Oh
we do our
yeah,
duty to the kingdom, and then when we're on our own, you go do your thing, I go do my thing. It
because
still
we know.
Mm-hmm.
happens that
Yeah,
way
yeah,
nowadays. People are like, okay, you know what? I make more money, but you have better health benefits, so
yeah.
we can do this. And then we can
Right.
figure out like, do we want to have children together? Or you have some people um who are gay or lesbian and enter into those kind of marriages because of protection, because they're
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, yeah, we're cool, we don't necessarily have to do this, but let's
You
just
can have the
join for
benefit.
whatever the benefits. You have some
Mm-hmm.
people who are like, do the best friend packs. Okay, if we're not married in 20 years, we're just gonna marry each other and just chill. It
Yep.
happens.
Right.
It happens. So, that's I think that's one
Yeah.
of the things that I have an issue with everybody trying to push this whole marriage agenda now, especially for
Yeah.
someone who was married for 16 years and who was unhappy for most of those 16 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop acting like marriage is the thing that's going to just make everything better. It's not for a lot of people.
Yep.
Not
Nope.
everybody can be as lucky as like you and Adam or you and Anthony.
Yep.
That's just the reality. And
And it's
it's
some
And then
hard
getting
some
work. I
worse.
people
mean,
who
try to
right.
everybody.
And then some people who actually want to be married, they be like, well, we really don't need to be married. We committed. We good.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
live in this life
right.
together.
But in the
Right.
1700s, those women don't have
Yeah.
that
No.
choice. You
No.
know?
No. Look, my daddy was late on rent, so I was sold to the next door neighbor
Right.
Yeah. Or it just reminds me,
who 80 years old.
yeah. Oh God. Okay, because when we get to that, I think it's the second
Because I don't blame Jamie
episode.
baby mama. I would have done the same thing. Be
Yeah.
like, look, and she was only, I think Geneva Dunsany was only 18 when she was married to the eighth Earl Ellesmere. She was like, I will not have my first time be with an old man old enough to be my grandsire.
It's just like what's her name, Jocasta. John
Oh.
Cameron old as snot.
Yep.
Ugh,
Yeah.
jeez, Louise and corn grits.
So, mm-mm.
Ugh,
Okay.
just too much.
Yeah, but Ellen, I mean, she is kind of in a between a rock and a hard place, because on the one hand, you want your freedom, you want to be able to do what you want to do. But on the other hand, you don't want to see your family come to ruin, even though your brothers, who are now the layers of this family, are acting like dicks. You still don't want them to be ruined,
Yeah.
because that's not just your house. That's just not them. That's literally your family legacy, your family reputation. It's what's going to be said about all of you guys,
Yeah.
because as Colum so eloquently points out, their dad is dead. So what he did in the past, don't nobody care about that now. What are y'all doing now?
Mm-hmm.
But
Oof.
let me tell you one thing about that Ellen. That girl gonna play up her lies. She is going to play up her lies, because after all this stuff happens, after she has the argument with Colum, after she has the argument with Dougal, and then she meets up with Brian Fraser because he comes to Leoc to be like, okay, I just need to look in your eyes and see, do you want to marry this Malcolm Grant person? Oh, okay, you don't want to marry him? Okay, so we're gonna figure this out.
No.
When she goes back and she gives Colum the piece of paper, she was like, oh, this is everybody that needs to be, you know, invited to the wedding. I was like, this girl is gonna play it up all the way up to the day of. I feel like she is gonna be one of those brides that
Oh
runs from
yeah.
the altar.
Mm-hmm.
Like that you wouldn't even be like, I'm surprised she did that. She seemed like she was into it.
Right,
I was.
right.
Mm-hmm. That's what you wanted.
You wanted me to do it, and do it with, what was it Colin said, and do it with a smile on your face. Did he say something
Mm-hmm.
like that, or am I
Mm-hmm.
imagining that? He did say that, didn't he? Do it with a smile on your face. Excuse me? Oh, okay. Yeah. Here, spend all your money on the invitations and putting this word out. We're gonna have us a big wedding. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to see how this is gonna work out. I mean, because again, Brian and Ellen, we already know the story. We know roughly what happened. We know they got married. We know they had children, multiple children. So obviously, she does not marry Malcolm Grant. I just want to
And
know
he
how
doesn't.
big a blow up this is about to be.
Mm.
Right. And do we, and then I may have missed it. Is Malcolm Grant in, or we talk about him at all in Outlander?
He's mentioned in passing. I know that he's mentioned by Archbug, excuse me, by Archbug.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that at the beginning they mention him, but I don't think we see him because he's part of a different clan. So I don't think we see him in Outlander.
Okay.
He's probably already dead, because I can't imagine. Well, then again, from the beginning of Outlander to where we are now, it's been like a lot of years. It's been probably about maybe 30 or 35 years at this point, maybe a little bit
Yeah.
more
But
with
he
the
would be at
reset.
least in the beginning. He would be in the beginning.
Yeah, almost 50 years have passed. So he would have been in the
Yeah.
beginning, but he probably
Yeah.
would have been, I don't know, he probably would have been married to somebody else. But I don't recall us seeing him, because we only saw like the MacKenzie clan when they went to collect their rents. And I don't think I remember Grant being mentioned.
I
So,
can't far back. It's been so long.
so we don't know what happened with him. But
Well, we do. He don't get married.
well, at least not to Ellen MacKenzie, he don't.
Not Ellen
Yeah, not
MacKenzie.
to her.
But going backwards, kind of leading back to Ellen, the whole thing with Brian and Julia, um, because Julia, as we mentioned before, she puts like the poison ivy or poison oak on her skin, so that she has a rash. And then she tells the laird, she was like, well, Mrs. Porter won't let me leave to go to the apothecary. He was like, oh no, you need to go and get that taken care of.
You take
And
that off.
I'm gonna send the scary bodyguard with you. And Brian was like, no, I'll take her. And I was like, why is Brian like just offering? Like his dad is gonna get suspicious, like, oh, you got an eye for her. That's what I was
Mm.
thinking at first. And then as
Oh.
they're riding, and then they get to Leok, and he's like, "No, I need you to deliver a message for me." I was like, "Oh, okay." So he picked the outsider. He picked someone that he felt like he could trust because he already knew, okay, she's married.
Mm.
She's not going to come on to me. I might can use her as an ally, and in exchange, I can offer to help her. I can be an ally to her, and I can
Mm-hmm.
offer to help her try to get away from here. He does know that she is pregnant, and he does
Mm-hmm.
know that she is missing her husband. So I was like, okay, again, I like this friendship, or this what could be a friendship. But again, the close proximity of Claire's parents to Jamie's parents was not something I expected with this show.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
I saw the previews. I was like, okay, so she's going to come into contact with Ellen at some point. That's cool. Now she has had contact with both of his parents. So that also makes you wonder about the whole star-crossed lovers thing. Like, were they always destined to be together because their parents were in
You
such
reach.
proximity to each
Mm-hmm.
other? Like, how does that work? But I like it.
Yeah.
And she comes into Leoc. She meets Mrs. Fitzgibbons. She lies her way into Ellen's chamber. And I love that Ellen was steadfast. I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't know. Who?
Nope,
Who?
can't just say.
And okay, that's fine. Do you want me to say it out loud right here in
Out
the
here?
hallway?
And
So
she was
everybody can hear?
still holding
Out
fast.
here?
It was when she said, "I'm the bridge." She was
I'm
like,
the
"Get your ass in
bridge.
here!"
Get in this
Bridge.
room.
Like, "Oh,
Okay,
you're the
well, get in the room because
chaperone
you
now."
actually may have some information. You may actually have
Right,
some
you're
information.
the
Hold on.
chaperone,
But
because that
she was
could have been
really
somebody
smart
trying to set her
though.
up. And
Yeah,
I
she
like,
was really smart not to just be like, "Oh, Brent," like she was
Oh,
smart.
right
like I
when
don't
she
know who
said,
you talked about.
right
Malcolm is my man.
when she said, "I'm the bridge," she was like, "Oh, okay, yes, you need to come in here right now." But close call, because he almost got his ass caught by Dougal, and I don't think that would have been very pleasant for him. We would not have a Jamie Fraser if Dougal had caught him.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh,
Because he was this
Yeah.
close. This close.
like
But
literally, she was like, "I need you to go because somebody's coming." They literally are still walking through the trees when Dougal comes through. I was like,
thank
y'all
God
finna
for
stress me out.
darkness and no real lighting and like dark clothes because he was looking in the doggone forest like,
He was.
why are you out here? Like, oh my God, he's
I
gonna
was
see.
like this. I was like, no, 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 no.
The other thing I love about Julia is she's so quick on her feet because like Brian gave her instructions like go talk to Miss, Fitzgibbons, do this and give this message to Ellen. But she had to like the gift, like she just came in and was like, blah, 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 yeah, I'm doing that, blah, 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 blah. Use the information she knows to just kind of get in there. Threw up murder, yeah, murder, me and murder is this, da, da, da. I'm like, Julia is on her shit. Like she is so smart.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, I know she's made some
Mm-hmm.
mistakes out of being like in pure shock, right? Like of being in this place, this new crazy place, and she doesn't know how she got there. But I feel like she's doing a great job of
Yeah.
like making her way through this time with what she got to do. Because I
Yeah.
would be probably crying in the corner somewhere. I couldn't handle what she.
I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't
Right.
make it.
Right. Because
My
I would
first,
still be
my
stuck on the
survival
how the
was
hell am
done
I
when
in the
I got sold.
1700s?
Right.
Right. And then I was sold. So I would be like, I don't really know what to go from here.
What to do?
Right. Because you still be sitting there like, how you gonna sell me? You don't own me. How? I'm my own free person. I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Oh, I'm on that scene now. She's
And
telling her.
and they and they be taking the strap to women because Dougal threatened to do it to
Yeah.
Ellen.
And she was Julia was gonna get it from the laird, and Brian took the lashes for her.
Yep.
They don't care, beating you like a child,
I
or
can't
worse
be
than a
in the
child.
1700s. I can't.
Nah,
I couldn't.
nah.
I'm a
When
grown
they
ass
started,
woman.
right?
I remember watching when Jamie did it to Claire. I was like, hold up, hold up, hold up.
He
We doing
just
what? We doing what? Yeah,
because
I did.
that used to be that rule: a man could beat a woman with a stick as long as it wasn't no bigger than his thumb. His wife, he could be his wife.
No,
So
no.
many dead
No,
husbands.
see, yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Because I
I
don't know
just
what happened to
Mm-mm.
him.
right. But then again, I don't know if like I I kind of sort of feel like for the most part, we are women of our environment, right?
Yeah.
So us three on this particular podcast, we would definitely say, "Ain't no man finna hit me," whatever, whatever. I'm not sure we are the three of us would be so strong in the 1700s. I don't know if we would.
I ain't gonna lie to
No,
myself.
because you will read the room. Look, you will read the room.
And not
And I'll
only
be
that,
like,
it's how we would have been raised. I mean, and I'm saying take the blackness out of it. Take us being black out of it. Just us being women in that
Just in
time.
general.
It's how
Yeah.
we would have been raised. We would
Yeah.
have been raised to
mm-hmm,
think that that is normal, that that is acceptable, and that's just the way of the world.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm so glad I was not born in that time. Because yeah, no,
Mm.
no.
mm-mm,
But yeah, she thinks
mm.
very quickly on her feet, and lucky Ellen does too, because Ellen is like,
Yes.
okay, so this is what we're going to do. You know, she's in her room pouting, and Glenna kind of sort of knows why, but at the
Yeah.
same time doesn't know why, because she knows, okay, she really doesn't want to marry Malcolm Grant, but she doesn't know that Ellen is in love with somebody else. Yeah.
Right.
So Ellen is sitting there and she's having a conversation with Julie, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be stuck in here till Beltane," and that kind of, huh? What's going on at Beltane? Oh, I have to attend this festival with Malcolm Grant, and we're gonna do this thing about the dancing of the 100 years. And Julia's like, 100 years? What is this 100 years thing?
What does this mean?
And then she starts telling her the stories about the travelers who come through the fairy hill and they do this dance, during Beltane. And then when they go back, 100 years have passed and everything that they've ever known is gone. Julia's like, oh, that sounds familiar.
That
Maybe
sounds very
200
familiar.
years, but that sounds familiar. And it is kind of similar to the story that Claire was told when she was at Leox. So I was like, okay, so she's going to figure out it has something to do with Beltane. So, of course, her gears are turning. She was like, okay. So we got to get this figured out by Beltane. And when Ellen talks to Brian, she's also telling him, okay, I'm going to be at Beltane. He was like, bet, I'm going to be there too. I was like, y'all about to stir up some shit. But again, we don't know what's going to happen with Julia if she goes to the Stones at Beltane, because we don't know if she could travel pregnant. She doesn't know if she could travel pregnant. And then
Oh yeah.
she doesn't
Oh
even know,
yeah,
like, is my husband in this
nothing.
time or is my husband in our time? It's one of those things where you don't know what you can do. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Like, I can go back forward into time with my baby, but my husband may be stuck here, or I can stay here, find my husband, and still be kind of trapped because now you done told this lie when the Laird kind of corners you and he's trying to sleep with you again. You're like, yo, you got to be gentle with me. I'm pregnant with your child,
Baby.
right? So you got to be gentle because, of course, back then, if women were pregnant, you got to leave them alone because you don't want them losing the baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you go find your mistresses and stuff because you can't miss. I tell you these times, but I mean, again, quick on her feet, but
She was.
now she's gonna be in a pickle because I feel like with Lord Lovat knowing that she's pregnant, he's not letting her out of his sight anytime soon. So
Oh no.
how is she gonna get away to Beltane? Brian is like, okay, yeah, we can go. I'm gonna try to help you escape. How is she gonna be able to go?
Yeah. I
Because
know it.
now, and not only did she just tell Lord Lovat, here come Miss Porter in the back room, in the room. Oh, guess what, Miss Porter? We pregnant.
And then he said, and I hope it's a boy. And I'm like, oh no.
So now Miss Porter about to be even more of a,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's gonna feel some type of way about that.
because
So
now she's gonna have to, not only is she gonna try to protect her place, she's gonna have to protect her son's place, which is kind of interesting because technically speaking, this child would be a bastard too. unless
Yeah.
he decides to marry
Yeah, it would
Julia,
be.
which I don't
Hmm.
see happening.
So that's the part
But
I didn't understand about that. Like his excitement about another child that would be a bastard. Like I
so
don't understand why he's so excited and why this child would be better than Brian. You know what I mean? Like,
so going back to the whole Mrs. Porter and her behavior thing on that. I feel like maybe he's thinking about this differently because if he did in fact take Mrs. Porter by force, or if he kind of coerced her into it and she was not a necessarily willing partner, that could also um color his feelings about Brian, because that was a reluctant coupling. She got pregnant. Here's the child. And I don't know, maybe even though she's still in the house, she maybe those looks that we were talking about her giving him, and maybe it wasn't that he was scared of her. Again, maybe that could have been a little bit of guilt, but maybe it also could have been her way of being like, don't forget, I got your only child. She could also be using that over him. Now, you flip it to Julia. Julia went to him willingly. So in his mind, he might look at that situation a little bit differently. Oh,
yeah,
she came to me.
Okay.
She wanted me. Now she's
Hmm.
pregnant. This is my child. He could feel a little bit more excitement because there's not that dark
resistance.
cloud over
Yeah.
that particular relationship. That's just the way I look at it.
I mean, yeah,
So,
that tracks
No.
actually. You would feel that
Hmm.
way.
yeah. So, but if that's the case, that is going to cause some problems for Mrs. Porter and Brian whenever Brian finds out that he, quote unquote, is going to have a new brother or sister. So,
Yeah, and I don't even feel like he would believe it. Like, really? We had a nice little talk on our little
hey,
road trip.
ain't you told me you were already pregnant?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Hopefully he will,
Yeah.
when he hears it, hopefully he will see it for what it is, like a cover. But I don't know. Mrs. Porter, I don't know if she thinks that too, because remember she already had her suspicions about Julia being
Right.
pregnant.
Hmm.
Right.
So I don't know. It could be that she'll think, oh, well, maybe I was wrong, because if he slept with her, surely he would have noticed. But most men are not going to notice that anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
She
Yeah.
might have just had a little belly. It, I don't think they pay that much attention in this time. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That whole situation is just still, it's very squeaky, but we're gonna see how it plays out. But on the other hand, poor Henry.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
poor guy.
he's
He's just
going
been
through it.
going through it. His
Right. And
PTSD is just
right. And then and at the end, when the young lady was like really, how can I help you? What do you need? Whatever. And I'm thinking, don't do it. I know you're lonely. Don't
yeah.
do it. But when you just say, okay, we just lay together, I felt him. Like he just need to sleep. He needs someone to hold him so he can go to sleep.
Yeah. Because by the time he had that PTSD dream or whatever
So
he
he okay. He
had,
can do that. Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
he just makes me want to cry for him
He
every
plays
time.
those scenes so well.
So sad.
Like even when they're just sitting at the table talking about the lottery tickets and his hands start shaking, I was like, he is playing this so well.
Yeah.
And I
Also,
just
that was
want to
really
sit there and like, you really want to cry because you feel what
Mm-hmm.
he's going through. This man done been through some shit.
yeah.
He's
And then
had
when
a
they attacked him, he went into G.I. Joe mode.
Right.
let me tell you, the
Like,
way
oh,
Archbug was looking at him,
yes.
he was
That's
like,
why I don't
oh,
understand
wait a
why
minute.
Archbug keep messing with him. Because he see how wily he is. Why you keep messing with this man?
And that's why Archbug. But if you were Archbug, you'd be like, you know what? Can I just kill him? Can I just like kill him?
Well, I mean, he said as much towards the end of the
I know, but
episode.
just seeing all of this, you just be like, I don't trust him. I don't know what's
Right,
happening.
like
Yeah,
he's a danger. Like we need to get
yeah.
rid of him.
Like, but you
We in
was the
danger,
one who
Molly.
brought
We
him
in
in.
danger.
But you were the one who brought him in.
Yeah, but
So,
we didn't know he was like this. Now he
Because
he quick on his
he's
feet,
right. He
mentally
like a
and
little
physically. So
posh
we
little
don't know.
Sassenach. He's just, little smart, little nerdy Sassenach. Oh no, wait, he's a soldier.
but
Oh my god.
I'm sitting here wondering about the possibility because I'm like, on the one hand, I would really like to see Henry and Arch go at it, just because I'm so sick of Arch and his smugness.
Ain't he a little
Like
ooh.
he really does remind me of the latter Archbug that we saw, not the one that was there and he was, loyal to the Frasers, but everything from the moment that gold was found out, it's like he did a 180. And I was like, who are you and why have we liked you all this time? Because you are an ass, sir.
Yeah.
This is that's the Archbug we're seeing right now. I really kind of want him and Henry to go at it, but then I thought about it. I was like, no, because Archbug is the type of person he will kill a person and not think twice about it, and I don't want to think that could be what happens to Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think about Julia may never find him because of that, or that could be the reason why they never went back. I don't want to think that
And she
Archbug has
just
something to do
stuck.
with his death.
Oh my god. Can you imagine? She just stuck. Her husband dead. She just, oh girl. No ma'am, no sir.
And then think about the future repercussions. The fact that the man who killed your father was actually living with you for years, probably didn't know, of course, didn't know it because he doesn't know anything about Claire. I think him and Mrs. Buck had some suspicions, but didn't know. But if you think about it, again, this show and the repercussions that it will have for the future show, that would be crazy if Archbug actually kills Henry and then later on he's like servant in the household of Claire. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. But I'm not going to think that because I don't want to think of Henry dead. So we just going to leave that alone. But Henry, okay, here's another one. He's quick on his feet. Isaac Grant sends him to go not only collect the rents, but oh yeah, you're going to raise the rent as well. And you're not gonna tell them why it's raised. You just gonna let them. You just gonna let them know that that's the service that they can do for their lair. You just gonna raise my rent and not tell me why? Okay.
And do you feel like he just did that just to test Henry, or was that literally him just being an asshole and raising the rent? I don't know. I just feel like there was something
Probably
in
him being an
there.
asshole.
I'm about to say
Raising
him being an asshole.
Because
yeah.
like that's so messed up. We don't need the money, but we just gonna take it anyway.
Okay, and see, this is why I say I feel like it's just him being an asshole because the way that Henry ends up raising the rent, same thing that we saw in the regular Outlander. Some of these people don't have enough to get by, much less pay their regular rent and then an extra shilling on top of that. Like the woman who had 4 kids, was pregnant with another one, her husband died, and all she had to give was honey. So when Henry starts, when we see their flashback and he's thinking about the lottery system, how they put it together, and they have this whole discussion about how it can help people, how it can give people hope. He's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the rents. He was like, okay, for those of you who can't pay your full rent, you pay what you can. For those who can pay, if you want to pay a little bit extra, we're going to put you into this lottery system and there's going to be a winner, and the winner won't have to pay rent for a year. So Archbug, of course, he's like, what are you doing? Everybody has to pay the rent. He was like, if people can't pay the rent and the people who can pay it make up the difference, what difference does it make? The money is going to be there. Of course, Arch ain't all that sophisticated. So he's like, I don't understand. Okay, just watch and see. And by the time Henry gets done with all of this, he's raised, what did he say, twice?
Right, because you want to win a prize. Shoot, everyone's putting in all kind of money so they can win a whole year.
So you've literally doubled the rent, not just increased it. You've brought your employer double what he was supposed to get. But Isaac Grant doesn't like that industry. I'm like, what does it matter? Somebody's not going to have to pay rent next year. Guess what? You have it right here.
Right.
The rent has already been paid for
And you can do it every
everybody.
year, and everyone's going to pay more just so they can have that chance of winning.
Right. But I don't know. Something about this time, they're like, they want to be literal. Oh, okay. This person owes me 10 and this person owes me 10. Okay. Instead of that, I'm going to pay 5. He's going to pay you 15. It's the same money. It still comes up to $20. What does it make a difference if somebody paid more and somebody paid less? You still got your money. But I don't know. That's clan math. I don't know. Maybe if Red Jacob had done that kind of clan math, they wouldn't be in dire straits right now in Clan MacKenzie.
Selling their jewels and silver. No.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Marrying off their daughters who they promised wouldn't get married.
So yeah. But Henry's gonna have to slow it down because now they're suspicious of him.
Yeah.
And Arch is like, you want me to kill him? No, not yet. Hold up.
Not yet.
Now, I don't like what he's doing, but he is making me some money.
Right.
So we're going to wait.
It's like, why are you mad at that at all? And so, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why they're mad at it. Because he's making them both look stupid.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because they are.
You just made me twice. What? Really? That's like, oh, go collect $50,000 in rent. Here, I brought you $100,000.
$100,000
because of the way he did it. What?
Yeah. And it sucks because why would you do that to people who you know are so poor already?
It's a capitalist society
and struggling already just cause.
Capitalism.
And then that causes dissent because as soon as this person can't pay, well, why do we gotta pay if they can't pay? And then it's like, why do that? But as soon as he came up with the lottery, they were like, look, I'm gonna take my chances with this 6 pence or this 5 pence or whatever and see what I can get.
Right.
It's worth it. I mean, it's literally why the lottery is now at 1.4 billion because them $2 is worth the chance.
Dang it, I forgot to go play tonight. Well, maybe it'll roll over.
But the way they be trying, I feel like they definitely let it roll a little bit,
right?
To see just how far we gonna go, how much we gonna put into it,
right?
Which is literally what they need to be doing. If he could have done that over and over again, just like Henry set it up, and they would have continued to do that if they thought they was gonna get something good, like not paying rent for a year. Like that's a money making scheme. If I ain't never seen one.
Like that literally would have made the Grants the most profitable clan in the Highlands if they were to continue doing that.
Yep.
But then Henry on the flip side.
Yep.
Okay, now he's still searching for his wife. And the brothel owner has called him and she's like, I have what you're looking for. I knew she was lying, but the way his face fell when that other girl walked in.
Yeah, it was sad.
And then she was like, I know I'm not the woman you're looking for, but my mistress doesn't want to lose your business. Well, maybe your mistress shouldn't have lied to me to get me here. That's the first thing. You lied to get me here. You told me you had what I was looking for. I told you I was very specifically looking for a someone, not a some type. I'm looking for a very specific woman. And you bring him to someone who is not what he's looking for. And the way his face broke, and he was like, have you ever wanted something and didn't want it at the same time? Because it's like he wants to find his wife, but he would have been so heartbroken if he had found her in a brothel. Because that would have been, I mean, he would have understood it, I feel like, because again, you ended up in the 1700s.
And to be fair, she could have been sold into a brothel. So I guess she might actually be lucky.
Right. But I mean, because a brothel, even if she were sold to a brothel, if they would have found out she was pregnant, they either would have thrown her on the street or they would have forced the tea on her so that she could lose the baby, so that she could go work.
Yeah.
So, but this episode had a lot of echoes from like the Outlander series as well. The whole thing with Henry and the whore in the brothel reminded me a lot of William and Jane. You know, when William was like, I just want to be here. I don't want to touch you. I just need to be alone. I just need a place to think. The whole thing with there was something else that I thought, and I was like, oh, this is kind of familiar too. I can't think of it now, but yeah, it has some echoes, but again, Henry, let me tell you, I think I'm starting to become more intrigued with Julia and Henry's story than I am Brian and Ellen's. Not to say that Brian and Ellen's is not interesting, because it is, but again, we already know what the end game is for them.
Right.
You know, we're just getting the background story of how they got from here to where we know them from. But Julia and Henry, because they are unknowns, because we don't know anything about their story, to see what they're going through right now, that's the most intriguing part of the episode for me. I'm just like, I just need them to get back together. I think Michelle and I were talking about that this weekend. Like, we just want them to get back together. I don't care how it happens. I just need it to happen. But then I think at that point, then that's when it's going to start getting a little bit more depressing, because again, we know that they never make it back to Claire.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the sad thing, because you see a flashback of them in this one. They're so excited for
naming the baby,
having a baby. Like, she's already got, you know, a little section of the apartment set up for the baby. She's got books like Peter Pan, which is her favorite. They feel the baby kicking for the first time, and they're discussing names. Of course, at this point, they're thinking it's a boy. So they're like, they're going to name him after Peter Pan. He's going to be Peter Beecham. And then later on, he says if it's a girl, it's Claire. It's like they were so excited to have her, and to be ripped from her and never go back to her. That's going to be the part of the story that I really want to see. But also, I think that's the part of the story that's going to break my heart the most. Whenever they realize that they can't make it back to her, or whenever whatever happens to them to keep her from going back. Because we don't know how her parents actually died. We don't know if, especially because of the show, we don't know if they were back together when they died. We don't know if they remained separated, if they ever found each other. We don't know.
And then even once they get together, you know, is the laird gonna let them be free? Either laird's gonna just let them go, like without chasing them down or trying to find them, because one feels like he owns her, and the other one feels like, well, you're my bladier, so you're here with us. You're a Grant now. Boom, bam, like you die to leave the Grants. That's it.
But the thing is, he told you from jump, I am only here looking for my wife.
Yeah.
Y'all were the ones who were like, well, if you work for us, we can put some resources behind it. We can help you find your wife. And then now it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you can look for your wife, but don't you spend so much time in Inverness.
Right.
You gotta do this here.
Okay.
Like, did you not hear me when I said my wife was my priority? Yeah, I think one of the biggest things about this time period, I don't like the way people treat each other.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, like, it's better in our time. Yes, we do still have a lot of that going on, but not to that extent. For the most part, I would say. But I just don't like the way, like, they literally look at people as objects to own and to trade and to sell and to disregard or to discard. it's yeah, it's so disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
But it also makes sense for why Claire never got her parents back.
Yeah.
Because they have all these
Yeah.
obstacles they're going through. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because even if they went back, however long it would take them to get back, they'd probably been pronounced dead, or whatever, and they probably had whatever services or whatever it is. Probably not a funeral, but they probably have done something.
Yeah, they did something because I think Claire mentions it when she's talking about her history with Uncle Lamb. I think
Uncle
after
Lamb,
the
yeah.
funeral, he was gonna. She mentioned he was gonna take her to a boarding school so that he could go off and do his archaeology thing. And she pitched a fit. She refused. What was it? She said she refused to let go of the car door.
Mm,
And he
fair.
finally looked at her. He was like, "Okay, you can come with me, but you're not gonna do this. We're not playing with dolls, and you better not touch my tools." It was like one of those things. And she was like, "Okay," got in the car. She was singing happily because she was glad she was gonna be with him. So, I mean, I guess I love that part. Like, at least she did have a loving relative to look after her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she became a pretty well-rounded person. She became a very good person. Probably a little mouthy sometimes and quick to temper, but overall she's a good person. I'm glad that that happened for her, but it just kind of makes you wonder what would have happened if she had had her parents, or if
Mm,
maybe, okay, let's talk about it. If her parents did go back, depending on when they went back, she could have already been an adult or she could have been in high school. If she's with Uncle Lamb, she doesn't have a permanent address.
right.
Or
Lamb probably would have sold their home or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
or she could have been gone. Like they could have came back when Claire went back.
Yeah.
That
Or they
sounds
could have came
they
back when
came
she was
back
an
when she
adult,
went back.
found her, and been like, oh, she's happy in her life. We're gonna, we don't want to cause any upheaval. Because at that point, if she's an older person, if she's grown, she's already made her peace with whatever happened to them. Because for her, there was nothing weird about them dying. She was told they died in a car accident. She never had reason to think otherwise.
Right.
Now that does make you wonder though, all the times that she and Brianna and Roger have talked about them going through the stones, and I think Michelle, I think you may have mentioned it either in the panel this weekend or you mentioned it in our last episode. You know, you have the gene, your daughter has the gene, your grandchildren have the gene.
Mm-hmm.
So we know moving forward, all your people have it. Have you not stopped to think at some point, well, did my parents really die? Like, did you stop to think about
Right.
where
That.
were my parents when they
Mm-hmm.
died? Like, did she ever get the details?
I
Oh,
didn't
they
think
were in
about that.
Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
They were their car was found in the river near such. Because if she had been an adult and she had heard where her parents died, or she knew where her parents died, especially after she had gone back and came back the first time, you would think that that would trigger something in her to say, well, maybe my parents didn't actually die. But I
Yeah.
don't know. At that point, I don't know if there's any other kind of research that she could have done for that. She probably could have found out where the car was found, because I'm assuming that's how they knew her parents died in a car crash. They found the car.
The flipped over car. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and of course they did get washed away in the river. Maybe whoever found the car, they were like, "Oh, they must have been swept away. We never found any bodies. They could be whatever." And depending on how long it took, they could have thought, "Oh, the animals got to them, nature got to them, whatever." Because you don't find bodies, but you never found bones either, did you? You know, it's just one of those things where I wonder how much has Claire really thought about whether or not her parents, one or both of her parents were travelers, and how far back that traveling gene or whatever it is with them goes back. That would be interesting to know. Maybe it's something she'll think about towards the end,
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I wonder if because they're trying to hint towards the faith thing, would they go back and be like, Claire finally clicks, like, hey, and
Yeah,
then it's her because we're thinking it's her sister, right? The faith that they're talking about could be her sister.
could be her sister or yeah, yeah, could be her sister. Because Claire was already 5 when this happened. Or actually could be
What if it's
yeah,
her? What
because
if it's her niece?
Or yeah, or that, yeah.
or yeah, or niece, or could be because I think Claire in this version of her, she's probably in her 70s now or close to 70. So that means it will probably be a niece or maybe great niece. It could be her sibling's granddaughter was Faith, and then but there may be some kind of familial connection there. And I
Yeah.
think somebody else mentioned it. Jane does favor Brianna a bit,
Mm.
so
Mhm.
could be. But that's a
Okay.
whole bunch of speculation. We still have
There's a lot
six
more to go.
Yeah, we still have 6 episodes for this season because we are getting 10 episodes in this season. And then, as we mentioned, they have already been renewed for season 2. They're already in production for season 2. So we do have quite a ways to go. This is just early speculation, but it is going to make you think. But I think we may get some answers by the end of this first season because the last season of Outlander will air in about 6, 7, maybe 8 months. And I have a feeling they will find a way to tie the two shows together.
I
So
hope
we
so.
may have some answers before we start the final season of Outlander.
Yeah. Because I mean, I would still watch, even if they gave us a hint about where they end up. I would still watch because I know what
Oh, I'm
Brian
gonna
and
watch
Ellen. I would still
regardless.
watch
This
them.
this
Yeah.
show has sucked me
So
in.
tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. This show has sucked me all the way in. I will definitely be watching. I don't care if none of it connects. I'm just like, okay, I just tell me the stories. Look, I will figure out my own way. This will be a good way to get back into writing some fan fiction if needed. Just
Oh,
give me some
fanfic.
stories.
Haven't
I
read any
know.
fanfic in a long time.
I know. I know. But okay, so let's go back to our main people. Ellen is plotting to meet with Brian during Beltane, and she's doing this by pretending like she is all on board with her marriage to Malcolm Grant. So I hope that's not going to come back and bite her in the ass. Colum is being an ass. Dougal is being an ass. Um, Brian is the ally we didn't know Julia needed, but we are glad that she has.
Mhm.
Lord Lovat is being an ass. Mrs. Porter is being an ass. Julia, we're about to see how her little lie is about to. Hi, Apollo.
Oh, hello.
Apollo wants to be part of the podcast. Um, so we're about to see how Julia's lie is going to affect her. And then Henry, that poor man, we just need him to find his wife.
Yeah.
And we need him to do it before he has another episode. I like that he is finding a way to control his
Hmm.
PTSD just
Mm.
by thinking of her and by having her was it St. Anthony pendant.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling Henry's PTSD is going to be the thing that kind of I don't want to say ruins him, but it's gonna be his undoing with the Grants, I think. Because I don't know if men back then showed their PTSD the way that he does. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think even back then, most of those men have yet been through a real war in the way that Henry has.
Right. Right.
So that's going to be the thing I think that blows his cover or that makes them say, okay, you know what, we got to get rid of this dude or something's not right. I don't know. I just think that when the the straw breaks the camel's back, Henry is going to be that camel.
Yeah.
And that's going to have
Yeah.
some very ugly repercussions for him, I think.
Yeah. That's, ugh, God. Just being in a different time. It's barbaric as hell, but you've been through probably the most barbaric thing ever, which is
Ever.
war. And like, you're like, y'all just don't know.
I know. I know.
Y'all just don't know. I could kill all of y'all while y'all sleep going through a crisis. Oh my gosh.
I mean, when Mr. Bug woke him, I thought he was about to get punched in the face. Like,
Right.
you're not supposed to like startle them when they're in an episode like that. So I was really worried. I was like, oh, this is about to be ugly. But Bug was just looking at him like, what's wrong with you? You was calling the name Julia. Like, what? Well, he looking for his
He's
woman.
looking for his woman.
So yeah. But whew, okay. So we just gonna have to wait to see how the shit hits the fan with all these folks next episode. You guys have any final thoughts about episode 4?
Oh man. No, I think it was a good episode. It's very emotional. Um,
Yeah.
I think it just reiterates how much I hate the time period. Like
Right.
I do not romanticize this time period at all.
At all. You know what? And I think that's a good note to end on. That is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social media at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.